Hi guys, it's Claude from Canine IQ Dog Training. Thank you for coming back to my YouTube channel. Really appreciate your support. Hope you're doing well. The subject today is all about puppy toilet training. So, 5 tips to help you get through the process and get it right from the start. Okay, so I'm going to go through these in a lot more detail, but I just want to give you the heads up as to the first 5 so you know what we're getting into in the video. The first one is reading the signals. Without reading the signals, we've got no game. The second one is actually figuring out taking the dog out or keeping the dog in. Do we take the dog outside or do we use a pee pad? Pros and cons of both. The third one is, do we have the puppy on lead or off lead? It's an important discussion. The fourth one is, when the puppy's doing it and go to the toilet, what do I do? Do I mark the behavior? Do I reward the behavior? And the fifth one is, what happens when the puppy's finished? How do I end the game? How do I reward the puppy? So those are the main 5 things, guys. Stick through to the end. We'll cover them in a lot of detail going forward, and I hope you find it useful, guys. Thank you. Okay guys, point number 1 is we need to know what to look out for. Now unless we know what to look out for, we failed right from the very, very start. So the puppy's going to be giving you some very valuable information as to when it wants to go to the toilet. So there's a few main typical situations that we need to follow. The first one is, if the puppy's had a bit of a sleep, when it first wakes up, it's more than likely going to be wanting to go to the toilet. And that's kind of immediate. So the first rule of thumb is wake the puppy up, get it completely awake, and then take it outside to go to the toilet. Really important. That's kind of a deal breaker. The second one, and there's a bit of flexibility with this, but it's still one of the real triggers, is as soon as the puppy's finished eating, a period of time after it's finished eating or having a long drink, it will want to go to the toilet again. Now that time interval varies from puppy to puppy and depending on the age and how much food they've had and all this, but effectively between about 5 and 10 minutes after eating, there's a really good chance that your puppy will want to go to the toilet, so that's also another good time to take the puppy out. The third one is after excessive play. Now when puppies get excited and they're running around, they're going, especially after zoomies in the night time, which all the puppies tend to do, but after anything that's produced a relatively high degree of excitement, puppies will want to go to the toilet, and that's kind of instantaneous. You'll see them running around doing all sorts of crazy stuff, and then bang, they'll squat and start going to the toilet. So what you need to be mindful of, if you're trying to get your puppy revved up, be aware that you may need to interrupt the behavior to take your dog to the toilet. Okay, and the last one, which is one that isn't really that common, but it does happen and people tend not to look out for it, is if the puppy's had a startle or a scare, there's a high probability that it will actually do that as what we call a reflexive behavior. It will go to the toilet involuntarily because something's actually triggered that from a startle response. And this is really important, that if you've noticed that there's a loud noise or something that's gone off and your puppy's a little bit apprehensive about things, be mindful that it might want to go to the toilet. So again, taking your puppy out in that situation is important, okay? So after sleep, after food, after excitability and after a startle are usually the main times that your puppy will want to go to the toilet. So, now that we've understood the main things that will trigger or you need to look out for, we need to figure out, well, what do we do, or what signals do we need to look at to actually reinforce that observation? Okay, so one of the things you'll find, puppies don't really change their behavior unless something causes a behavior change. So puppies will go around and you'll see a happy disposition and they're running around like idiots and just having a lot of fun. And all of a sudden their behavior change and they get a little bit serious and their nose might go to the ground and they might start following a smell trail or a scent trail or just start sniffing in general or walking around in circles. Take that as a really big flashing neon sign that I really want to go to the toilet and I kind of want to do it now. So pick your dog up and take it outside. You don't get much time when it's actually doing that, because if it starts to sniff the ground, it's actually looking for a place to go to the toilet. And this is a really big indicator and we need to take the dog out. But assume you've missed it, so you haven't been paying attention, all of a sudden your dog has started sniffing and then it started to go to the toilet. You can't punish the dog. The old-fashioned tail rubbing the dog's nose in it just doesn't work. There's got no psychology behind that. In fact, it's counterproductive to the bond and the relationship. So if you happen to catch the puppy in the process of going to the toilet, 1, don't punish it. Just stay nice and calm, pick the puppy up, take the dog. You can actually say the word no if you really want to, but you don't even need to do that. Just pick the puppy up, take it to wherever you want it to go to the toilet. Stay as calm as you possibly can during the process. Puppies have accidents, and accidents will happen, but the more vigilant you stay over the process and the more observant you are at those critical key times, the better your likelihood of actually catching the dog before an accident happens, And heaven forbid, if it does happen, stay calm and don't get angry. Puppies don't know that they've made a mistake. It's all about us to try and shape the behaviour. Okay guys, so now that we've read the signals and we're prepared to actually do something about it, we need to have the discussion as to whether we want the puppy to go to the toilet indoors or whether we want the puppy to go to the toilet outdoors. I have a very, very strong preference for the dog to understand from a big picture point of view that going to the toilet never happens inside the house, and I'll explain the reason why. I think that's a bit of a problem. A lot of people invest in a pee pad, and there's some really good washable, disposable pee pads. The problem that I have with that is puppies look at everything in terms of texture. So if you've got a house that's potentially hard floor and you've got a bit of carpet and you've got a pee pad, the puppy doesn't really understand the difference between the texture of a pee pad and the texture of carpet. They both feel the same compared to the floor. So the puppy might assume, well, going to the toilet on a pee pad could be similar to going to the toilet on a bit of carpet, even though the puppy pee pad might smell. If it has a couple of accidents inside the house, there's the odour there as well, so it's more than likely to go to the toilet on the carpet. So in order to have a problem and then try and fix the problem, let's start the training process simplistically and actually fix the problems to begin with, so we actually don't have them. So taking your dog outside is a really important thing. So understanding the difference between inside and outside is a really important component. For my money, I take the puppy outside to one specific location every single time, and typically I always go through one particular door. So there's a particular path that I follow to go to one particular area, and the puppy starts to develop these pattern behaviours that take it to one specific location, and then it starts to associate going to the toilet as an outdoor thing. And if you do this correctly and you've got a pup that grows up and eventually becomes an indoor dog with you, it'll go to that door that you used to take it out through as a puppy to go to the toilet, and it starts to understand that that's the sequence involved. So my preference is to take the puppy out as opposed to use a pee pad and keep the puppy inside. Okay guys, point number 3. Now that we've actually read the signals, we've taken the dog out, how do we do that? A lot of people take their puppies out and they let them run around off leash. Now, that's all well and good, but what tends to happen if you're a puppy is that, especially if I'm a puppy, I might be walking around the backyard and I might start going to the toilet, so I'm halfway through doing something, then I see a leaf blow. Now, puppies have got a short attention span. They'll see the leaf, they'll stop going to the toilet and they'll chase the leaf. Now, we as owners don't know whether they're finished or not. We think, oh, it's finished because it's now playing. So then you just let the puppy play with the leaf, you pick the puppy up, you go back inside the house. And then what tends to happen from a puppy's point of view, it goes, I haven't finished what I had to do before. So then it goes to a specific corner and it starts to go to the toilet. So it actually finishes the process inside the house. So again, a good way to prevent that is to take the puppy out and have it on lead. So the benefit of on-lead toilet training is twofold. The first thing is we can actually control the process. So we take the puppy on lead to a specific place that we want the puppy to go to the toilet, which is great because we're getting them used to one particular location. We're holding the leash because then we can stop the puppy chasing leaves and we can keep it on track with what it's supposed to be doing. Okay, now these are all really important things. Okay, so one other thing that we need to be mindful of is taking the puppy to one specific location is a good thing because it gets the puppies used to going to one particular area. And because there'll be an inherent amount of its own odour there from previous times that you've taken it there, the puppy will start to get an understanding because of the smell that's associated there, that's where I go to the toilet. So if we follow these procedures from day one, we don't have a problem where the puppy is going to lots of different places in that backyard because it's off lead. We're taking it to one specific place and we're targeting or narrowing down the process. Now I'm just going to give you a remedial tip. So just imagine that your puppy has already got a lot of bad habits, that it's weeing and pooing all over the backyard. One of the ways you can control where it goes is, again, put the puppy on lead, but to over-exaggerate a particular odour pool or a scent pool in one particular area. So that one area smells a bit more like going to the toilet than anywhere else. And one of the things you can do is you can go to the vet or a pet shop and get some really expensive spray that actually has pheromones that pair the dog back to going to the toilet. Or you can simply go to your local supermarket and get some ammonia. Cloudy ammonia is a good thing. So in a litre bottle of water, if you put a cap full in, and then you spray that in a particular area, it has a really strong recollection for the dog to go, or the puppy to go to the toilet. Now the reason why I'm suggesting ammonia is actually a trace element of urine. And while it doesn't make your backyard smell like a toilet, it has the same effect for a puppy. So it goes there and it smells the ammonia and it wants to go to the toilet. Now they're two shelf-bought things. If you really want to be serious and completely natural, have your partner to go and do a little bit of a wee in a particular place. Dogs find it amazing. There's nothing that smells more like urine than urine itself. And if you've got a male dog, it'll probably enjoy the process anyway. So you've got three options: expensive spray, a bit of ammonia, or a little bit of human urine in a particular place. And your dog will tend to go into that particular area if it's already starting to go to lots of other different places. And then the third benefit, which a lot of people don't think about, is the puppy is actually getting used to going to the toilet, both number one and number two, in your presence. Now this sounds a bit far-fetched, but a lot of puppies get stage fright if they're used to doing it off leash all the time. So if you've got the puppy on leash, from minute one, it's understanding that going to the toilet in your presence is quite natural and it's quite comfortable, and it actually does it. And then we can control the process and start to finish, and we get better success out of it. Okay guys, point number 4, and this is a really important one. So we've read the signals, we've taken the pup out, we've got the puppy on lead, we've gone to a specific place and the puppy's actually doing it. What do we do when the puppy's actually going to the toilet? Do we reward it? Do we mark the behaviour? From my experience, if you interrupt the puppy with giving it too much excessive praise, what tends to happen is puppies have got an association with reward and they get channeled into a different state of mind, they get excited, they lose concentration, so they'll probably stop going to the toilet. So what I try and do with all of my puppy training is to build what I call word association. So the puppy's actually going to the toilet, and just say your word is wee. As your puppy is actually doing it, you may want to offer a little bit of gentle verbal praise. Good boy, good girl, good pup, whatever it is that you're using, and start to use a word called wee, 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 and you keep repeating it while the puppy's doing it. Eventually, if you do this, like sit means sit, stand means stand, drop means drop, wee means actually going to the toilet. So your dog starts, or your puppy starts to develop this association with a word and a behaviour. Okay, and that's a really, really important thing, because that's the foundation of all dog training going forward, is this association between a noise and a behaviour. Okay, this is really important. So give the puppy a word to tell it what it's supposed to do, but don't overly praise it, because you may distract your puppy from finishing the process. The fifth and last point, and this is a really, really important one, is how do we reward the puppy and when do we reward it? Now, like I said before in one of the previous points, if you overly reward a puppy during the process, it's more than likely going to stop doing what it's doing because it's enjoying the praise. So the way I like to approach all puppy training is to get the puppy from day one to understand that it's got to complete a task before it gets a reward. And going to the toilet is no different. So if the puppy's in the process of going to the toilet, what I'll be definitely saying to the puppy is good boy and saying the word wee. And I'll be waiting for the puppy to completely finish. And then when it's completely finished, I make a big song and dance out of it, then and only then. So if the puppy likes chasing the ball, throw the ball. If the puppy likes a food treat, give it a food treat, if that's how you want to train the puppy. If you want to use affection, then pick the pup up, give it a hug, or run around and go crazy. But the moral of the story here is, as soon as the puppy's finished doing what it's supposed to do, after it's finished, reward it like crazy. That way the puppy starts to understand, as soon as I've completed the task, I get all this undivided attention from you, but I only get it at the end. Really important, guys. Okay guys, so in conclusion, those are the 5 main steps. Quick summary. The first one is look for the signals, understand what to look out for, and be wary of them, because they're really, really important. The second thing is we need to take the puppy outside as opposed to have the puppy inside. The third one is take it to a specific place continuously and have the puppy on lead so it actually understands that you're controlling the process. The fourth one is develop word association with the behaviour itself, so we're actually giving the behaviour a word, whatever word you want to use, but make sure we do it. And the last one is reward after the process, guys. I hope you found it interesting. Thanks again for your time, guys. Stay tuned, there'll be plenty more videos coming. If you have any questions about anything that I've covered, please leave me a comment and I'll definitely get back and respond to you. Maybe give me your opinion, what's actually happened with you in the past, what's worked, what hasn't worked. If you've tried any of these concepts before and they've actually worked for you, or you've had a few problems, let me know. Look forward to hearing from you guys. Thanks again. As always, a big thank you for watching my channel. To keep the information free and help share the videos, please hit the subscribe and like button so we can share the message with everybody. To stay in touch, just hit the bell button so that you can be advised of future notification. Thanks again, guys.